Hello, dear friends, and today I am very much looking forward to taking you on a little tour of a town very, very close to my heart, Church Stretton in Shropshire, England. Now, this town is special to me because it is where my grandmother lives, and I've been visiting this town a few times a year for my entire life, and it is a lovely old town nestled in some of the most beautiful rolling hills that you've ever seen, in my opinion. So I'm starting by coming down Church Street, where of course the church is a big part of Church Stretton. My grandmother actually lives on this street in a little cottage, but of course I won't point out which one. We have the lovely old library there, and you can see the church over here. Now, the church, fond memories of that too. Every Sunday morning would ring out with its bells, and although some may find that annoying, being woken up each morning by, not each morning, but on a Sunday morning, by the song of bells, was actually quite lovely. Something very historic and calming about it. Up here you have access to the forests that lead to the long Mynd that I'll take you to in a moment, because here is a little grassy knoll, a little hill, and on top of it sits a war memorial. But my grandmother actually used to live up this hill, so we'd often walk down the hill and then come over the crest of this knoll and then walk down and head into the town proper, into the high street that we'll go and visit in a moment. But there's a huge amount of greenery here, and it's not a very busy town at all. So the roads, as you can see, there are no cars on it whenever this Google car was driving around. It's a very quiet place, but look at the hills that emerge from the valley. My grandmother lived at the top of this hill before, when grandfather was alive, and you used to come out of the driveway and walk down the hill into the town. But let's just go up here a little bit further, because this is very special to me. This is the entrance to the long Mynd and Cardingmill Valley. So if you head up that way, there is a lovely long walk through the rolling hills, but there's also this little pond that has an old ruined pump house next to it, a very romantic, historic place. And we used to play games where we'd hide from my father as he pretended to catch us or scare us as a ghost, as we'd hide in this little ruined building. And to our right here is Cardingmill Valley. You can see the strip of road down here in the valley that leads to the visitors centre and car park, where you can start your hike. For some of the eagle-eyed amongst you, you may recognise this landscape as the subject of my painting in my Painting a Landscape video. I did all of it from memory, but looking at this now, I don't think I got too far off with the overall shape of the hills. There's like a little pathway that's further down on the bank that you walk down. I actually never came this way up this road, but I think I'll go up there anyway, just to see how much of the valley we can see, so you can appreciate its depth and its beauty. So you could walk for hours. You could hike for hours. You can see how this the rolling hills. You can see. Okay, look. You can just see over there, cresting over the bank, is the visitors centre and the cafe. That's where you'd usually kick off your journey into the valley. But yes, there's all kinds of trails, and we've got a lone walk heading up this way. You better be careful. It's a bit hairy if a car comes. But yes, I think if you cut reservoir, which again is a lovely idyllic location. And if you turn back the other, look at that, just look at the countryside, look at the view, just absolutely stunning. When you first turn into this area, you kind of come from a big motorway, like a dual carriageway main road, and you turn a corner into a village called, I think it's called Donington or something like that. Just all of a sudden the landscape completely changes into these rolling hills that just suddenly thrust out of the landscape like these huge natural monoliths. It's just such a transition, and it really is like stepping into a fairy tale. I have fond memories as a child. I used to be a big Thomas the Tank Engine fan, so I would make all of my family members get behind me and hold onto their waists as troublesome trucks, and as Thomas I would choo-choo down this hill, and I would make the troublesome trucks follow me and go up this little verge here. This is the little pathway that leads to that war memorial, and lead them into town as Thomas the Tank Engine. Very funny. Then we head into the high street proper. We have like what was a carpet shop on the right hand side here, a big carpet shop, and actually it looks like is it still a carpet shop? Been unchanged perhaps yep, it is still a carpet shop. Got a little cafe there on the left, and a little haberdashery craft shop there too. I think there's a sweet shop there now as well. And then you have the kind of crossroads in the middle of the town, an art gallery there. You've got the malt house there on the right, permanently closed. It was an old inn. There was a tragedy that happened there once. People trapped inside during a fire. Very terrible stuff. There's a memorial to it in the church. And then you have a little square over here. At Christmas time they have a big lovely tree in this little square, and you can see the church behind it. So my grandmother lives behind that now, so it's just a little stone's throw to the high street. Got Berries there, which is a lovely tea rooms. I have a lovely tea cake and some tea. I love Earl Grey with a tiny dash of milk. And then we can head down the high street proper. A fairly basic high street, and some of it's a little out of keeping with the Earthwall aesthetic, but you can still see the same Tudor style houses and some of the old Edwardian style brick houses too. Rainbow's End there is a lovely little gift shop. It's almost like a rite of passage. You have to go in there every time you visit Church Stretton just to browse. And down here on the right actually is an amazing antiques store. Stretton Antiques Market, yes. It's huge. I mean, look at the size of it, right? And there is just, it's just floor after floor of chaos. Just all of these antiques just strewn around to buy. So if you ever do pop into Church Stretton, I highly recommend you give Stretton Antiques Market a visit. See if you pick up a little gift or a collectible for yourself. But the most nostalgic shop isn't around anymore, unfortunately. It's the one right at the end at the bottom of this high street. I think it's a dog groomers now. Here it is a closed shop at the time of this image being taken, but it used to be a toy shop. And every time I would come to Church Stretton, I would be allowed to buy one Thomas the Tank Engine toy. So I'd always love coming to Church Stretton, not just to visit my grandmother and be in a wonderful location, but also to add to my die-cast collection of Thomas the Tank Engine models. Lovely stuff. Always be on the lookout for a new one, and then take them home to the rest of my collection that I'd brought with me to play with. Then there's a little railway bridge over here, and then you move on to a kind of extended residential part of Church Stretton. I never really visited the other side of this intersection, this crossroad over here.